Hello viewers, this is Dow Too Fast here. In today's video, I'll do an ownership update video on my 2017 Nissan Pathfinder. Now I've wanted to do this video after 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years, but I kept putting it off. Well, now I finally have some time to make this video, so I'll talk about things I like about the car, things I don't like about the car, and also any problem I've had for the last 4 years. Stay tuned. This is a 2017 Nissan Pathfinder, Platinum trim. I've owned this for 4 years now, and currently it has 39,282 miles. After owning this vehicle for 4 years, I can tell you I'm very happy with the vehicle. I've not had any problems with this vehicle until last week, which I did have to do a repair, and I'll talk more about that later on in the video. I do all the service myself, and I've not had to take this car to the dealer for any service or repair. Now, even though I like this SUV, it's not perfect. So there are some things I like and some things I don't like about this vehicle. And I'll break it down into the two categories in this video. Now make sure you do watch the entire video, because at the end I will go over the total maintenance cost of owning this vehicle. So let's start by going over the things I like about this Nissan Pathfinder. This Nissan Pathfinder has excellent ride and handling. Nissan has put a lot of effort into the vehicle to reduce noise inside the cabin. When you're driving this vehicle, it's very quiet and the handling is very composed. Now there's a reason why this SUV has such a good ride and handling. The reason for that is because under the body panel, this is actually an Infiniti QX60 SUV. It has the same powertrain, suspension, and many other parts that share between the two vehicles. In fact, the floor mats for the Nissan Pathfinder will also fit the QX60. And this is why this car also has power telescoping and tilt steering wheel. And this is something not offered in similar class SUVs. If you look behind the panels and the carpeting, you'll see it has a lot of insulation and padding to reduce the noise in the vehicle. In fact, I recently had to drill a hole through the firewall to pass a power wire for a subwoofer system. The firewall is actually made of 2 sheet metals with sound deadening material in between. So I hope this will explain why the Nissan Pathfinder with a Platinum trim has such a comfortable and quiet ride. The next thing I want to talk about is the roominess of the interior space inside this vehicle. Now if you look at the front row and the second row, the legroom and the headroom is comparable to all the other SUVs in the class. But one thing the Nissan Pathfinder does well is a third row space. The third row in this vehicle is actually usable, and you can actually fit an adult here. Now it's probably not the most comfortable for a long drive, but you'll have no problem fitting 7 people in this SUV. Getting into the third row is very easy. Pull this up, slide this forward, and then you get into the third row. I'm here in the third row, and you can see I still have a little bit of room in front of my knee. With the third row folded down, you have a lot of storage, and underneath this panel you have additional storage here. And by the way, this is the amplifier I recently installed. And if you fold down the second and third row, you have a lot more cargo space. Now because the center console is an older design, the benefit of it is you still have physical buttons for the radio and climate control. But if you want to, you can also access the LCD control and adjust the climate control, or control it using the physical buttons. Same thing for the radio control. I can change the stations right here, or do it on the LCD. This vehicle comes with the around view monitor, which means it has 4 cameras, 1 at the front, 1 at the back, and 2 on the side. The around view is very helpful, especially when you're parking. This is a feature I wish my Honda Odyssey has. Now there are other features that come with this Platinum trim that I really like the panoramic sunroof, which my family really enjoyed. So now let's talk about things I'm not crazy about this vehicle. The first thing I want to complain about this vehicle is the storage space for the front row. Considering the size of this vehicle, it has very little storage for the front row. If you look at the driver's door, you can put a water bottle here, and there's a little storage here. But this storage does not extend to the back of this door panel. I'm not sure why, because usually this is all empty behind it anyways. But all you get is this little spot right here. And if you look on the right side, there is storage here, but the width of this is about 1 inch. It's pretty much useless. You can't put anything in here. The only other storage is this cubby right here. With this 2017 model, it also lacks a lot of USB charge ports. There are 2 underneath the armrest, but it's inconvenient to use because it's under the armrest cover. And this is why I installed my own USB charge ports at the front here, and also the second row. Now Nissan did add these USB charge ports in the 2019 model, I believe, but for this 2017 I had to install my own. Now this vehicle has cool and heated seats for the front row passengers, and these are the controls for it. You'll notice there's a silver line that's right here. I actually added that, and the reason for that is because without this line you cannot see what the settings are. There is an LED light right here at the top, but when you're sitting back in your seat you can't see that illumination. And I think Nissan pulled these parts from the corporate parts bin that was designed for another vehicle. So looking at it from here, you can't see the illumination on the lights. Another problem with this vehicle is a blind spot on the A-pillar. You can see with the design of this mirror, there's no gap right here. So the blind spot extends from here all the way to the inside of the A-pillar. If you drive up to a four-way stop, the cars over here is very hard to see. Same goes for the passenger side. Now even though I said I like the physical buttons on the radio and the climate control, one thing that's lacking on this radio is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Because this design is carried over from 2014, that's why Nissan never incorporated those features into this radio. Now I know with the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder coming out, it'll have a new radio and it comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. One thing this SUV is missing, which other SUVs in this class have, is a retractable sunshade. Again, in the new 2022 Nissan Pathfinder, they've now added that into the vehicle. Now one biggest concern people have about the Nissan Pathfinder is a CVT transmission. In 2017, Nissan did redesign the transmission, and as far as I know, there are no issues with this transmission. Now if you do own this vehicle or you're planning to buy one, to avoid any problems with the CVT, make sure you do a transmission drain and fill every 50,000 miles. As long as you do that maintenance, the transmission will have no problem. So now let's talk about the repair I had to do last week. And it's a problem that many Nissan Pathfinder and QX60 owners have had since 2014. And that is the radiator fan assembly failing. What happens is when it fails, the bearing on the fan motor will wear out and cause a loud grinding sound. The fan assembly will also vibrate a lot. The fix is to replace the entire fan assembly. Now if you take it to a dealer, that costs about $1,100 to $1,200 parts and labor. But I did the repair myself, and you can save a lot of money because the parts is less than $200. I will have an upcoming video on this repair, so stay tuned. Before I end the video, I want to go over the maintenance costs of owning this vehicle for the last 4 years. I did the oil change every 5,000 miles, and I did the service myself. The cost of a full synthetic oil and Nissan filter is $35. So far I've done a total of 8 oil changes, and the cost for this is $280. I also did tire rotation every 5,000 miles. I did the service myself, so it didn't cost anything. At 31,000 miles, which is about 3 years into owning this vehicle, I had to replace the original tires. Those Bridgestone tires didn't last very long. I decided to get a set of Yokohama Geolandar CV G058 tires, and that cost $807. At 38,000 miles, I had to replace a car battery. I went to Costco and got their interstate battery. Now with the Costco battery, you do have to replace it yourself, and that battery cost me $80. I did have to replace the remote control battery after about 3 years, and the battery is about $5. And as I mentioned, last week I had to replace a fan assembly. Since I did the repair myself, I didn't have to pay the dealer over $1,000 to fix it. The cost of the fan assembly is $180. So the total maintenance cost in the last 4 years of owning this Nissan Pathfinder comes to a total of $1,352. Now as I mentioned, the new 2022 Nissan Pathfinder is coming out in a couple of months, and I think the new one looks really good. But if you're shopping for an SUV, you might want to keep an eye out for a large discount on this model year Nissan Pathfinder. I think it's a great SUV. It has a quiet cabin, great handling, and very roomy inside. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave one in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. To support this channel, remember to click on the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified of new videos.